Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at Dragon Ball Super Part 1 of the Super Warrior or the Supreme Magnificent Super Warrior Edition stage. So obviously the Gathering Super Warriors Edition. Now these fights are in a weird space. They're difficult yet not difficult. I think this one strikes a good balance at having some interesting challenges. So we have a couple phases here, quite a few. We have the first phase against Goku, the next one Super Saiyan God Goku. We have a third phase against Beerus and Whis. We have a fourth phase against Super Saiyan God SS Goku and Super Saiyan God SS Vegeta. We then have a phase against Trunks Teen Future and My Future, and we have a Super Saiyan God SS Vegito phase. The interesting thing here is that we have 3 phases out of 6 that are against multiple target enemies. So obviously some level of AoE would probably be advisable. Because of that, we are going to be bringing the tech Broly, who does a great job in these type of situations. The first phase against Goku is nothing crazy, 1,000,000 super, 400k normals, and every single boss is immune to stunning, sealing, attack, and defense lowering. The second phase against Super Saiyan God Goku, he has a 1.3 million super, 500k normals, and a 16% evasion chance. The third phase against Beerus and Whis, Whis has a 5% evasion chance. They both have 50 and 40 million health respectively, and they both hit for about 1.5 million. Beerus can stun you with his super, whereas Whis will seal you with his super. I highly advise that you get rid of Beerus first, as this will help you to mitigate the amount of stunning he does. Stunning mitigates your damage quite a lot, so I would avoid that if possible. In the phase against Super Saiyan God SS Goku and Super Saiyan God SS Vegeta, obviously both of them are immune to defense down, but Goku is actually not immune to stunning. So you could technically stun Goku. They both have very similar health, 60 million and 50 million. Vegeta hits for 1.7, whereas Goku hits for 1.6. Something that's very important is that these guys are on a bit of a timer with their super attacks. So they don't super at a regular speed. Vegeta will always super you on his 5th attack out of 8 in a cycle, and the same, or Goku is very likely to super you early into the turn. Next we have Trunks Teen and My Future. So Trunks will get a huge attack and defense boost after Mai has been defeated. For this reason you may want to consider focusing Trunks down. However, Mai has a stunning ability on her super. This presents its own challenges, as obviously that can prevent your units from doing damage. One thing that I think is very interesting is that Mai, firstly, she stuns you, yes, but weirdly it's currently glitched on both Global and JP, in that if she stuns you and then you evade one of her attacks afterwards, your character will no longer be stunned. This is clearly not intended, at least I assume so, otherwise they would have just given her an interrupt ability. But obviously if this happens to you, yippee-ki-yay. As far as I know, it's not really something you can objectively abuse, at least not like intentionally so. It's also very hard to avoid without abusing, so it's just one of those things. And then finally, after Mai and Trunks, we have a very interesting battle against Super Saiyan God SS Vegito. Now, Super Saiyan God SS Vegito in his first turn will not super you. Then, in his second turn, he is guaranteed to super you immediately every single time. So, the thing is with Vegito, he does a 7.5 million super the moment he falls below 100% health. So you have your first turn to kind of avoid this. Then, every turn that passes, Vegito will take, or will reduce, his attack and his defense. So the longer you fight him, the weaker he gets. He doesn't have an insane amount of health, 2.5 million, so it is very possible to work your way through him without needing to wait too long. If you're looking to not item this, you're going to need a unit that can avoid those initial supers. Like I said, you don't have a lot of control, so avoiding those initial supers and those big chunks of damage that he does is crucial and absolutely fundamental to your ability to avoid damage. So my suggestion ultimately would be to consider that situation. So basically consider, hey, I'm going to be taking a bit of damage here. I need to either avoid it because it's huge. I mean, 7.5 million is massive. Or I need to use an item to play it safe. You'll still need a tanky unit even if you're using an item. Like, you're still going to need a first slot tank style unit. It's not like you can just throw a Wison. If you are, for whatever reason, running a team that doesn't have a first slot tank, then you probably have to run 2 items. But yeah, I would say the Vegito phase is interesting in its design alone. Obviously, people can struggle with it. Of course, it makes perfect sense to struggle with it. But I think, like, for me, definitely, Broly shines a lot because not only can he tank, like, he can actually tank Vegito, but because Vegito is very likely to always super you in that first, like, slot kind of range, it's very likely that he will, be able to interrupt it. But it's a tough fight. It's a tough situation regardless. Definitely without understanding it first time, you can be completely caught unawares, and that's always something that's not too great. So yeah, but other than that, I think for most players, they should be quite fine here. I do think there's a really interesting, fun challenge. You'll notice, like, for me, I used my revive mechanism, etc. So there's definitely some cool things you can do here. Working around the fact that you know you're going to have this one big off attack that's going to hit you. There is a way to kind of provide a little bit of a, I don't want to say like a set play on how to beat it, but there's definitely, by understanding how Vegito is going to attack you, you can definitely avoid it. Of course, with a strong team and some items, you'll be fine, regardless. But I think it is always interesting to try and see how to beat things, or at least understand how to do it. Overall, I think it was a fun, interesting stage. I do think the Super Warrior stages, at least so far, haven't tended to be like as challenging as the other variations of stages, but I do think, like, they've had their own level of challenge overall, which is quite interesting. But yeah, definitely for me, fun, but very different in design. So very long fight as well, multiple phases. So bring a team that can scale quite well, or take advantage of that fact.